We're here today with Mr. Paul Dacruz from Invensys. Paul, thank you very much for your time today. And we're just going to speak to Paul. We're going to ask him a few questions regarding Invensys and what they're looking to do in the future. Paul, thanks again very much for your time. I understand that there's a lot of capacity in this region. What is Invensys looking to do about this capacity?
Well, Invensys is very busy involved in supplying control systems for the new power generations. We are very busy in all sorts of power generations. Nuclear. Invensys is being chosen by a major power operator, nuclear power operator in China, and we're providing all the control and safety equipment for that. We also equally very involved in Indonesia in so-called crash program, which is adding 10,000 megawatts to the Indonesian grid. We're also very involved in India. In total, we are doing 140 gigawatts, 140,000 megawatts of adding capacity through our control systems.
So those three massive emerging markets, China, India and Indonesia, would be your focus and your concentration in this region at the moment?
Oh, for sure, China, India, but also ASEAN is seeing a lot of new projects. We're talking about Thailand, we're talking about Taiwan as well. So all across the regions we have some good footprint actually.
I see, that's fantastic. It sounds like you're busy people.
Oh yes, we are.
Maybe Paul, you can give me a couple of examples of some big customer case studies that you're working on at the moment.
Okay, I can give you an example that is with Tata Power. Tata Power is actually implementing the first ultra mega power plant. It's 5 units of 800 megawatts. This is in the state of Gujarat, and we are doing for them all the control systems together with the advanced process control, together with instrumentation, together as well with the operator training simulator.
My understanding is that there's a number of Indian states where there's huge demand.
Absolutely, yes.
Especially with their growing economy.
From Maharashtra, from Gujarat to the south, Chennai, all across the different states, we see a lot of developments for sure.
Paul, clearly in this region with these emerging markets, environmental issues must be a significant element and something you need to consider quite seriously. Can you talk a little bit about carbon reduction and other environmental elements that you're looking into?
Of course. By far, power generation is the most emitter of carbon. 42% of the CO2 comes from power generation worldwide. So we need to tackle not only the new projects coming in, but we need to tackle as well the existing power plants. So Invensys is involved for the new power plants in new technology that is coming up. For example, oxy-firing, where we're going to use pure oxygen in the boiler and therefore generate CO2. The cost of capturing the CO2 will be extremely reduced. We also involved in IGCC, integrated gasification and combined cycles, where we do a lot of projects currently around simulation to try to define technical and commercial availability and viability of these projects. This is for new power plants. For existing power plants, we also very involved into providing advanced process control with the aim of to increase energy efficiencies and also at the same time reduce emissions. With some technologies we have here, which are non-intrusive, using open advanced process control, we are able to reduce up to 20% of the CO2 and other COX.
Is it a challenge with existing infrastructure? Some of it must be quite old, it's aging, there's legacy issues for you to contend with. Is that a challenge, making the old infrastructure energy efficient?
Oh, it is by far, yes, and also the quality of the fuel we use, the quality of coal will play a major role, and there will be some instances where it will not even be possible, but we will by far try to use non-intrusive technology to try to do that.
Just following through from your last answer, Paul, we talked a little bit about the aging infrastructure in this region and the legacy issues that are carried with that. What's Invensys doing in this field of its operating?
Again, 30% of the power plants of the world are more than 30 years old. And 30 years old is a very critical time. It's a time where the power plants are going to maybe cost more to be maintained.
I see.
And therefore you need to replace some obsolete part of the equipment. The system that we provide, the control system, is a nervous system of the power plant and needs to be, of course, kept current, kept up to date all the time. So Invensys can help by providing soft migration, where we're going to try to minimize the disruption in switching from the old to the new. Let's take an example, 1000 megawatt unit at $50 the megawatt hour. That is an average price, is going to represent in a 24 hours of operation $1.2 million of revenue. So this minimizing the disruption through those changes is quite crucial.
Yes.
And because the lack of generation is quite, the loss of revenue is can be very significant.
So your clients and your customers demand that window of migration is minimized as best as you can.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Now I understand 30 years in the energy industry, so you're talking about energy infrastructure that is over 30 years and over in its age. That is quite significant in this industry.
Yeah, power plants are designed generally to have a lifetime between 40 to 60 years old. So 30 years can be often the half of the lifetime of the power station. And to sustain the technology with a current environment where the cost of maintaining and running is very difficult. And that's why we look at this point where the cost of migrating or changing or upgrading is interesting.
And what would you say is the leading challenge that is brought to you by your customers and your clients when they come to you and they say, look, we have old infrastructure, but we want to migrate it, we want to upgrade it, we want to give it a fantastic facelift? What is the leading challenge that then you turn your minds toward at Invensys?
Oh, by far the operator effectiveness. An operator that have been running a power plant for 30 years with an old technology, when he's going to inherit this new technology, is going to be a big bang for him. So we need to make sure that we transition him from the running of the old system into the new one, and we use a lot of operator training simulator environment where he's going to be able to be training this new target system and then carry on running the plant effectively.
Fantastic. I'm with Paul Dacruz from Invensys. Invensys doing some fantastic stuff in this region at the moment. Paul, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, Simon.
Good to speak with you.